Hi guys, what's up? Uh, I am so angry right now, and I'm really hoping it's because I'm about to start my period. I feel like I say that every time, but maybe I'm just an angry girl, and that's okay. I don't know if there's anything wrong with that. I mean, like, sure, maybe people wouldn't choose to be angry all the time, and I'm not choosing to be angry. That's just who I am. And you know what? This is my dream, okay? Hi guys, welcome back. This is my dream. I really just want to live alone. I just and I have so many goals for like my future, so many things that I really want to do, but the truth is that there are only a few things that I really need right now, and then I can focus on the rest because the rest isn't going to come unless I get these things done. This is what I need. I need to be living in a cool place and be able to provide for myself, like my own apartment, please, in a cool city. Like, take me to New York, take me to Miami, take me to Florence, take me to Paris. It doesn't matter. Somewhere cool like that. Maybe somewhere warm, ideally. I think about this all the time because, like, where I want to live is a really big whatever, and I can never choose. That's why I'm always traveling so much because I don't want to settle down because I want to go everywhere. I'm thinking Miami is the best place, but I hate how, like, fake it is there. You know what I'm saying? But I've never been, so I don't really know. But I would like a little more authenticity. Like, if New York, if we could have the New York, like, there's so many different sides of everything. There's so many different ways to live your life in New York, and in Miami it's like BBL. I don't know. That's just how I think of it, but I love the warmth. That's what I need. Anyways, I need my apartment in a really cool city and I need a car, and then I need to just be able to work and provide for myself because I think all my stress, all my anger, all my like what's the word? My what's the word for being my misery comes from the fact that I rely on other people and then I have a ton of other people relying on me at the same time. So it's like, ugh, there's been only one time in my life where I didn't have to worry about anybody else. All I had to do is worry about myself. And it was the most lonely time in my life ever. But I remember coming home. When I moved home, it was like, what the heck? I now am a part of a team, and I love being a part of a team because I don't want to be like alone. I don't want to be lonely. But when the team is mixed up and scrambled all the time, it makes it really sucky to enjoy being in a team. And I just don't want to be lonely, but I do want to be alone. Let me explain how I got to this mood and how I got to this point in my day, okay? I wake up. It's Thursday. I had the past 3 days off, okay? So I should have been doing this, like this, all these last 3 days, but the first two, my boyfriend went to the ER for the fourth time in our 6 month long relationship. We've only been dating for 6 months. He went to the ER for the fourth time. Guys, I haven't been to the ER since I was like 8 years old. I have 6 siblings. We haven't been to the ER in 8 years. Whatever, it's fine. I took him. He has the flu. Drama queen. That's what he is. Whatever. Not to shit talk my boyfriend, but like, dude, you were shaking a little bit and you're throwing up. It's okay. Calm down. And then some other people dropped him off at my house and they were like, he needs to go to the ER. Okay, like, I guess I'll take him and you're coming too, I guess. Like, what the heck? Anyways, whatever. But I was busy. Okay. And then I had book club yesterday and I'm going to get to that in a second. But today I woke up and I was like, okay, I need to film this video. I need to go and get a present for my sister because it's her birthday. And then I'm going to edit the video and I'm going to go to work at 5 o'clock. So I woke up, I went and chatted it up with my sisters because it's my sister's birthday. And then they were talking about lunch. Okay, apparently we're going to lunch today. I didn't find out until like 10 minutes before, but that's fine. Like, I'm down to go to lunch. I have time. And I want to hang out with my sister on her birthday. So we get ready. We go to lunch. I'm like, okay, I'll go to Target after, and then I'll record my video after. And then if anything, I won't have time to edit it. So I'll just edit it tomorrow, and that's fine. But we go to lunch. Awesome. Great. I love chatting it up with my family. Guys, after, I'm not going to get too much into the details, but I hate when people, like, I think maybe I'm the problem, of course, but does anybody else make schedules in their head of what they want to do for that day. Like I just told you guys my schedule. I plan it out detail for detail, and then the problem is I don't really let people in on those plans, and so then they kind of crash it without even knowing. But I needed to give my boyfriend a ride to work so that he could like pick up a car there and drive it somewhere else. Tell me why this dude, we needed to get from point A to point B. It is a straight whatever shot to this place. We go all the way around town. By the way, it's snowing. Like, it hasn't snowed here. It only snowed once and it did not stick. And now it's snowing a ton, which is awesome. I love the snow. And that's like his excuses. He's like, well, we can't go on these roads because of the snow. No, dude. Everybody's driving on those roads. So they're probably the safest ones because there's no snow on them anymore. Whatever. He drives all the way around, so it takes like 30 minutes to get there instead of the 10 minutes that it would have. What the heck? Don't piss me off. We go in there, we get her present. I drop him off. My sister texts me. She says, "Come home quickly. I need to go to practice." I'm like, "Shoot." Now I have to go take her to practice real quick. No biggie. I'll still have time to film this before I have to pick him up. Pick up my boyfriend from whatever he's doing at work. I drive home. We're in 2 different towns, okay? So I drive the 15 minutes home. I'm sitting there. I text her, I'm here. Then she texts me, what time do you have work? And that kind of just... I sat and waited in the car for 20 minutes because I wasn't going inside. It's cold. I called her. I'm like, okay, girl, what time do you have practice? Oh, 3:45. It was 2 o'clock when I got there. What do you mean, come home quickly? You did not need to text that because I was going to be home. I'm going to Target and I'm filming this little video for 45 minutes. I'm going to be home. Plus, we have another car my sisters are in. They're going to be home. They're going to the store real quick. Why did you tell me to come home quickly? I had to drive 15 minutes that way. Now I have to drive 15 minutes back just so that I can record my video. Anyways, it's fine. Did things go a little bit astray today? Yes. Do I hate when people mess up my schedule by like not communicating? And I mean, I'm just like helping other people out, which is fine. Like that's a normal part of being in a family and having friends and having a boyfriend and whatever. We're all helping each other out right now, which is fine. But the thing is, if I lived alone and I had my own apartment and my own car and I was far away from everyone, I wouldn't have to do that. And I'm just dreaming about the day. For a little context, I'm the oldest sister. So all my oldest sisters, they should understand that like I'm 20 years old now. I'm still taking care of these fools, and I had my day meticulously planned out because I'm working the next 6 days like an oldest sister, and my freaking day was just like scrambled and I haven't been able to do what I actually need to do today. Which like it's not anything to be really, really crazy upset about. Like, don't let it ruin your whole day, whatever. But when it's an everyday thing, when it's like in my entire life thing, like I've been taking care of you guys for my entire life. You can't just figure it out, you know? And so I'm kind of to the point where I'm really, really burnt out and I've been ready to go for a long time. But whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine! Sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you guys. Anyways, so that's been my day. Let's talk about book club. Today's just going to be a little update day because, I don't know, maybe I'll throw in a story at a time or two. But, guys, I love a good spicy book. Okay? I like them. In fact, I was like a really big reader in middle school, and then I didn't read after middle school until maybe like 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. And the first book that got me back into reading was like a Colleen Hoover book. Probably, oh, what was it? It's the one where she like can't have a kid and her and her husband are like trying to have a kid together. It's not working out. Anyways, I really liked that book and it helped me get back into reading, and it was like a little spicy. And I like those books because they're like, it makes you want to read them. Like, it gives you an incentive to read instead of just like for the good story, it has like something extra. But that's not all I really like to read, okay? So we have a little work book club. It started 2 months ago, so this is our second month. I didn't do it last month. This is my first month. And the book this month sucked, and we kind of all knew it. Um, but I wasn't like, obviously, not every book is going to be a good read. That's the point of reading, is like to see if a book's good or not, to see if you like it. Like, it's a gamble. You don't know if it's going to be good until you read it. And we were all kind of like, okay, yeah, this book sucks. And so I went in excited to read or to talk about it because it sucked. By the way, I also spent like all of yesterday reading it because I didn't read it the other days. Like, I got it pretty late and then I just was taking my time with it. And so yesterday I literally read for 8 hours straight and then went straight to the book club. And it really did suck. It's called The Obsession by freaking, what's her name? Nora Roberts, something like that. And it was just really, really slow read. Like, it was about this girl who, her dad was a famous serial killer, and she was the one who saved a girl that he was going to murder and found out that he was a serial killer, and it like haunted her all of her life. And so flash forward, that happened when she was like 8 to 10, maybe 12 years old. And flash forward to when she's in her 30s. Now she's like separated herself from it. She's been running from it her entire life, and now she's settled down in this really small town. And guys, when I tell you, I knew more about the interior of her house that she was like redoing because she bought a fixer upper house and she was redoing every single room. I knew more about like the freaking kitchen tiles and the colors of her plates and bowls and the colors that she was using to paint every room in this house than I did about like how she felt about her father. It didn't even touch on it until like the last freaking, there was a whole 200 pages in the middle that was just like, oh yes, my house is going to be this color. And then I went to the furniture store and bought this. Who gives a crap? Nobody cares. We're in it because at the beginning this was a murder thriller and then it just into the ground. Anyways, it sucked. And I spent all yesterday reading it. But one of the things that was like sent in our book talk group chat was like book talk, our book club group chat was come prepared with like a book that you want to read for next month because we're going to draw names and whoever's name gets drawn is going to pick out the next book. So I spent yesterday trying to find a book, okay? And I found two that I really, really wanted to read. One is called um something like It All Happens and Then It's All Over. I don't know. It's about this girl who is in the afterlife and she's trying to figure out who she was. It's a really short read, but it's really, really cool. And then the other one is called The Spy. For a little context, guys, the book that I was reading before this book club is When Women Ruled the World, and it's about the 6 queens of Egypt. It's like, it's not fiction. It's a historical whatever. Um, in partner with like the National Geographic. So that's what I'm reading right now. And then, you know, I read freaking Phantom of the Opera this last fall and When Women Ran with the Wolves. Okay? So the book I picked out, which I really wanted to read, is called The Spy by whoever wrote The Alchemist. Same dude. And it's really interesting. It's like a historical fiction about this girl who was sentenced to death because people thought that she was a spy when really she was just like an independent woman. She was an entertainer, maybe a prostitute, maybe, I don't know. Tell me why. And no offense to the people who love spicy books. Like, I love them too. But that's not all that I'm reading. And honestly, guys, it makes me so mad because I feel like we as a whole of society are getting back into reading, especially girls, but it's mostly these spicy books. And it's like, okay, guys, like, yes, I'm glad that we're reading, but that can't be all that we're reading. Like, there's so much good literature in this world. Why are we reading Nora Roberts and Colleen Hoover and like calling it good literature? Nobody cares about these books. Like, okay, everybody cares about these books, and that's what pisses me off. Is it's like, why, why is this all we're reading? It's like, oh, it's not intellectual. It's not fueling us. It's just like, I feel like we are the most depressing and impressive generation ever. And it's like in every aspect of the world, in every aspect of like human existence, art, sex, relationships, community, like freaking how we build our buildings, our how we work, everything is just so unimpressive. And maybe that's like a really down way to put it. Like, what's that word for a person who just thinks that everything sucks? That might be me. But now, like, reading too, literature too. Why is this what we're reading? Why is this what everybody's obsessed with? And it's like nothing's impressive anymore to at least me, because why are we all meeting our soulmates and our husbands on dating apps? Who cares about a dating app? I think that's so cringe. Why are guys, like, the way that we're living is just embarrassing. Honestly, if you compare it to like the rest of the world, I mean, with our love for each other and inclusivity and like women stepping up, I love that. But then there's also the complete other side where like a girl is gonna say, I hate my body, my choice. Bitch, that's your body. Your body, his choice? Sure. Okay, anyways, if this pisses some people off, I don't care anymore. Hi everyone. But I feel like it's just so the way that we live is so cringy, and the one thing that is kind of not cringy is the fact that we still care about reading books. And then I get to book club and they're like, okay, we are going to read a book that is going to take your favorite childhood story, Captain Hook, Peter Pan, and Tinkerbell, and it's going to turn it into a dark, mafia, sexual, freaking dark fantasy, spicy book. Bitch, I don't want to read that. That is embarrassing. I do want to go to book club because I love socializing and I just want to hang out and talk about books. I don't want to talk about this book. Why are we rating? We were rating it on two scales. One, the book overall. Two, its spicy rating. Who gives a crap about its spicy rating? Ugh! But it's fine. I'm probably going to read the book anyways, but I'm also going to read my book that I wanted. And that was my big fear going into this book club. I was like, okay, I'm wondering if I'm going to be reading, if these people are going to like the type of books that I'm reading. No. And I didn't think that it was like you go on Book Talk and you see all the books that people are reading and you see their bookshelves and it's like, okay, by the look of your bookshelf, I don't care about your recommendations. I didn't think everybody was like that. Why is everybody in this book club like that? Guys, what? What? But it's fine. We're going to keep it positive. We're going to keep it's fine. You know what? And maybe I'll be the one to change their mind with this, The Spy. Everyone's watching this. They're like, girl, shut up. Like, nobody cares that you're reading not spicy books. Anyways, whatever. Um, what else do I have to talk about? Oh, I'm going on a trip again. And this one is a little bit scary because I don't have the money for this. Honestly. Okay, let me tell you guys this little story time. So I studied abroad in Greece last semester, right? And I still have roommates who live in Greece and they rent out an apartment. And they were like, okay, Jayla's going to be gone for the second semester. So there's going to be an empty room and you could totally come stay with us and hang out. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Like, I have that in the back of my head for just in case. And me and my boyfriend have been looking at flights and we've been wanting, like, after our trip to Hawaii, we were like, we want to go on a month-long trip to somewhere. Maybe. Maybe go stay in Madrid. Like, maybe an idea if we can somehow get the money and do it like really cheap. We'd love to do that. And then we found a really, really cheap flight to Greece for like $500. Usually a one way is $1,000. So like, that's so awesome. And then on top of the fact that we have a free room to stay, like that's really, really cheap. All we need money for is food and stuff. And so I text my old roommates, guys, and I'm like, hey, we found a really cheap flight to Greece. Do you guys think that we could come and stay with you during this time? They were like, oh my gosh, yes, like that's so exciting. I can't wait to see you. Like, oh my gosh, yay. And we were looking at all sorts of places, like maybe Madrid, maybe Prague, um maybe freaking Scotland, who knows, anywhere. But And I love Athens, but I've already been there a lot, so I don't really wanna go. Like, I would love to go back there, but I really wanna go see other places, but the fact that there's a free room and a really cheap flight just, like, makes it, like, obvious, like, let's go there. So they're like, "Yes, we can't wait to see you, we miss you, blah, 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 blah." So I'm like, "Okay, yay, I'll tell you guys when I book my flight and, like, have all the information." Guys, uh, I book my flight. I book my boyfriend's flight. I text them the details. And then one girl is like, "Hey, by the way though, they rented out the room to a different girl, so you guys can't stay there. You're gonna have to find somewhere else to stay." Dude, did you find this out in the past day? Did you find this out in the past 2 days? Because you could have told me that, because I would not be going back to Greece if I had to pay for an Airbnb, because there's also cheap flights to Paris. Why wouldn't I stay in Paris for like there's cheap flights to everywhere. I could stay anywhere if I wanted to pay for an Airbnb. The fact that I'm going there is because I have a free place to stay. Why didn't you tell me that? So now we have a flight to somewhere where we don't want to go. Greece is still awesome. Like anybody would die to go to Greece, but it's like, okay, now we have to pay for an Airbnb and we also want to go other places. So we have 1,000 things to pay for, which is fine. But we're going to New York for my birthday. That's what I'm really excited about. And how we're going to make this work, I have no idea. But I think it's gonna be okay. I think it's going to be all right. Whatever. Let's talk about something more positive, because I'm really just complaining a lot, but I hate the winter time. That's really what it is. And I also just need to be living alone, guys. And I think the problem is I have such high expectations. Like, I want to move to France. I want to move to Italy, and I can't do that. I can't just like get my citizenship and go there, but I could, if I wanted to like move to Florida, I could go be a bartender somewhere, and like I have the money saved up for an apartment, I could do that. But whatever. Okay, let's take a brief intermission and calm down. Okay, guys, I took a brief intermission to warm up the car, and I was trying to think about what I'm going to talk about next. And honestly, I should be titling this like complaints, like bitching and moaning, honestly, because that's what I've been doing this whole time. Because I have so many things that I just want to complain about, like Stranger Things. Don't get me started on Stranger Things, but maybe we'll get into that in a second. But the thing is, I have not always been an angry person. Like, I don't think I've always been an angry person. I have always been a really emotional person. But actually, I think there was a time in my life where anger was just never something that anybody could get out of me. Like, it just wasn't an emotion that I was used to showing or feeling, because if anything, if I was angry, I would show it through sadness. Like when you get in a fight with somebody and instead of yelling at them, you just start crying instead. Like, that's me. Or that used to be me. But I feel like I was not always, actually, maybe this is a lie. Maybe I'm completely lying to you guys. I don't really know. But I think the fact I'm really comfortable in my anger now. And on the day to day, like a day like today, where my whole schedule gets screwed, it's really easy for me to default to anger. And the thing that I really, really hate about men, one of the things that I hate about them, is that their default emotion is anger. In any situation, they just get angry, and that makes me angry. Like, hanging out with a man on the day to day, when something small happens, like somebody's driving slow in front of them, like road rage, or they are sitting in an uncomfortable chair, or they are like any minor inconvenience throughout the day, I feel like they react with anger. And maybe, obviously, that's not every man, but most of the time, I feel like that's just a guy's default emotion is anger. And I feel like lately my default emotion has been anger. Like, I've just been quick to anger because I'm frustrated with my overall life. That's the real reason, I think. as especially lately, I'm just frustrated and scared and stressed. And so whenever something small happens, I go to anger. But I also think that in my life, there was an event that happened that made me realize my anger, not just toward the situation, because in the moment, I remember um one time I was breaking up with my ex, okay? And I could never yell at him. I could never actually get angry with him. And our fights would look a lot like I had something that was wrong and something that I really didn't like about the relationship, but I could never say it. And so I would just live with it, and I would express it through silence, and I would just, like, ignore it, and I would just be like, "Get away from me, like, please." And then he would be the type to be like, "Okay, talk to me about it, like, tell me what's going on." And it would end up being me sitting on the floor for hours trying to say something, trying to be like, "Hey, I'm really upset because you made me feel this way by doing this." But I could never tell him that he was wrong, and I could never get angry at him even when he did something that I should be really, really angry at. Like cheating on me, texting other girls, jerking off in the bathroom, crap like that. I just could never get angry. And I remember when we broke up, I forced myself to I mean, I wasn't even angry then. I kind of just like acted like it because I he deserved to be yelled at. He deserved to be embarrassed. And up until that point, I'd just silently been like, I don't want you to cheat on me. And then he is the only one that can talk, so obviously he has the power in these arguments when it's not an argument, it's just like a one-sided conversation because I can't speak. But I forced myself to be angry at him, and then it really faded, and I even like the anger faded for this person. And I mean, I even like met up with him multiple times after our breakup, and I still had no anger, not for a really long time. I didn't feel the anger for the situation for a long time. And then slowly it started to trickle in. The more that I thought about it, the more that I brewed on it, I was like, that really didn't have to happen. This didn't have to be the situation. Why is this the situation? Why is this the way that things are? And I think growing up as a girl, I think there's like an awakening that a lot of girls go through. And if they don't, then you can tell just based on like how they live their lives. There are two different kinds of girls, okay? In regards to this specific, like, whatever. But there are girls who know what I'm talking about, who have awoken to what the world is and what, like, reality is. And there are girls who maybe have been awoken to it, but they don't want to see it because once you see it, it sucks, but it's the truth. And you don't want to see it because then your reality is crushed. Then everything that you've ever thought and ever felt, it doesn't mean anything. And it's based in lies. And it's hard to live a life knowing the truth, okay? But I think that after this breakup, after I'd processed it for a really, really long time, the trickle in of what reality was became aware to me. And my main reaction to it was a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, a lot of confusion because why? Just why? But for the most part, a lot of anger because as women growing up, we are sold a fantasy, right? Think of every single princess movie you've ever watched. This man is going to come into your life and save you. Your whole entire being and your whole entire purpose is to build yourself up for this perfect man who's going to make all your dreams come true, and you're going to serve him and be his beautiful wife and have his children, whatever. And you have this specific role in the world, and this is how the world works and blah 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 blah. I could go on for years and years and years about this topic. But that's not really what I want to talk about. But I think after like knowing it, I think there's like this angry girl, um what's the word? Guys, I hate not knowing the words for what I really want to say. But stereotype, I guess. Like, what's that one girl? She's freaking insane. Maybe Greta. Um, she was the I don't know. She just said that we need more angry girls in the world, and I couldn't agree more because I feel like we are sold a lie, and slowly a lot of girls are becoming aware of it, and we're starting to realize what like this world actually is, you know? And for us, for women, because as women, we're sold something completely different to what reality is. And when you become, once you know what it is, and I honestly probably sound like I'm just speaking gibberish because I'm not actually giving examples or anything, but it's hard. It's really, really hard to not look back or to look back once you've seen it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And you can try to not see it, but it's always going to be there. In every situation, you will see how deep rooted toxic masculinity and the patriarchy and just the suppression of women is so rooted into society and our just the way that we exist. And it sucks and it's really sad. And for the most part, it's really angering because it feels like as much progress as we've made, there's still so much to cover. And it feels like nobody wants, I mean, the women want to do the work. The men don't want to do the work. And the women who don't want to see it don't want to do the work. And there's so many people that still like push us back into that narrative because they don't want things to change because they know it would be hard because so many things would change. But anyways, so it's not just like my physical situation at the moment that makes me so angry all the time, but it's also just like ah, it sucks because I have people are like, especially old men, they're always the ones who are the ones to say this, but it's like women who don't want husbands and blah 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 are angry, angry women, and they just need to buck up and do what they need to do, which is get married and have kids. No, I am gonna stay angry because there are so many things that I want to change that it's like it wouldn't be possible in my lifetime. And I'm just going to have to live through this, which is fine because I'm willing to do the work to hopefully make things change. But dang, you know, dang. And that goes back to like the older sister that I was talking about earlier. That it's like, dude, I have an older brother, but he has never had to deal with this family in the way that I have, you know? And that's because he's the brother. That's because he wasn't raised to help out everybody and clean up the entire house and make sure that everyone gets to where they're needing to go. He was raised to focus on his sports, his school, his future, right? Whatever. I don't really want to talk about it too much because there are so many different routes that I can go down on this topic, but sometimes it hits home and sometimes there are days where I'm just like, dude, come on. And oh, this is why, guys, it's making sense. It's not because I'm starting my period. I don't know, really. There's something wrong with my body, okay? So yesterday when I was getting ready for this book club, um my stomach has been hurting, like cramping lately, like the past few days, and so I've been thinking, "Oh, it's going to be my period." I don't know what happened last night, but I have never cramped worse in my life. I was driving and I almost wanted, like, I felt like I was going to pass out because of how much pain I was in. And then whenever I go pee, it's not a UTI, but it's like an excruciating pain in my bladder or in my uterus. I don't know. And I always have thought that there's something wrong with me, like endometriosis or something like that. But um I was not raised in a doctor family. That's the 6 kids, hasn't been to the ER in 8 years, whatever. But um I just have not ever really gone to the doctor for a lot of issues unless it was really, really dire. And this one is one of those issues that I know it would take so much time and so much testing and so much probably of like, okay, it's probably your period, honey, like turn around. And I don't really want to go through that. And another reason I don't want to go through it is because of the fact that women's health has not been studied nearly enough to actually know what's going on with me. And that's just like one example of freaking this world. And if you are a medical student, I remember my best friend, she really wanted to become a nurse and stuff. And so in high school she was taking all of these like nursing classes and crap like that. And she's also very feminist. So I remember her reading a book, and she got very angry because the amount that women's bodies have been neglected in in health is just insane, because I feel like we know less than a lot of people think that we do when it comes to health. But especially for women, we know nothing. And especially for Black women, we know nothing. And it's like, whenever I have a health issue or something, I really, really get pissed off, because I'm like, if I went to the doctor, they'd tell me to suck it up. It's probably your period, girl. Like, go home. No, it's not. Doctors just don't listen to women, and they don't care about women's health, even though we bring people into into the world. Like, we're birthing babies every day, but yeah, they don't study like the actual most effective ways to do it. Like, the fact that we give birth in a certain position, because I'm pretty sure a king liked to watch women give birth, and that was like the best view for him. We used to give birth like sitting up, and now women are tearing and giving the husband stitch, because nobody cares about women's health. Like, I that's one example. Like, let's talk about that a little bit because we're on the topic anyways. Back in the day, right, we used to have um like, not housemates, freaking baby maids. No, what is it called? We still have them today. But um maiden, housemaiden, midwives. Midwives. And we used to have a lot of women in medicine, in healing. Um and we it makes me so sad, and I don't know like enough information to actually speak on this honestly, but women healing, which we're naturally really, really good at that. We're good at birthing babies, you know. We used to, like, have you guys ever heard of an orgasmic birth? Look it up. I'm going to start bringing my computer so I can actually like research these things when I'm with you. But birth used to be it used to look completely different than how it does now. And it's because we really, really cared about the woman who was giving it. Now we're in like scary environments, surrounded by people. We're not able to relax. And it's really like nerve wracking. We used to make it a peaceful, calm, whatever. And we would be like, tearing was not normal. Tearing during a birth was not normal. And now, like, the fact that we give births on our backs, the fact that, like, whatever. But a lot of like women in health were regarded as witches and killed off. Whatever, whatever. Anyways, I really need to read more about that, but I am reading my Six Queens of Egypt. So next time I'm on here and I want to talk about women who were like discredited and shunned and turned to the side and freaking construed in history, I'm gonna actually be knowledgeable. But I don't know. I'm so angry today for a multitude of reasons, but I think on the daily I'm mad anyways just because of how our world freaking works. Ugh, I wish I wasn't angry all the time. That's why. But whatever. I have places to go right now. But thanks for being angry with me, guys. What should if this had a name? I like the young and bitter because I'm just bitter about everything. It's fine. But yeah, I'm gonna head out. I hope you guys have a good week. And a Merry Christmas. I'll be posting again before Christmas, hopefully. We'll see, actually. Probably on Christmas Eve. Hey. Anyways, yeah, that's kind of it. Um, I'll see you guys next week. I'm sorry I'm not a positive person. Like, I think about a lot of things. I am a really positive person and I live my life optimistically. Like, the fact that I have no money and I think that I'm going to be able to go to Greece for a month and it's going to be like the best time of my life. Like, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make it happen. I can't wait. And like, I really do live the life. Like, I have a great family, I have a great boyfriend, and I love myself. But there are so many things to be happy and grateful for, and there are so many things to be angry about. And some days the anger just really wins. And most of the time, when it comes to this podcast, I just love to rant because I don't want to take out my anger on a lot of other people other than me like screaming. But finding the root of your anger. You know, sometimes you just got to take a step back and be like, why am I really mad? Oh, because the world hates women. And then I'm freaking trapped here. I am a unicorn. Did you guys know that? I'm actually a unicorn. You've trapped her in a human body. She'll go mad. I have actually never watched that, but it's really, really freezing. And I hate the cold, guys, but I want to go to Prague. So I'm gonna buy a ginormous coat. One of the ones that like it goes all the way down to your ankles and like a fur hat. And I can't wait. Anyways, have the best week ever. And if you're mad about society and stuff and men ruining this world, just like think about the future because I think we're heading in the right direction, even though it feels like we're not, kind of sometimes. One day, one day, maybe it'll be like how it is on Wonder Woman's island. You know that TikTok where they go around asking men and women if they live on, like they ask men, would you live on a planet of just men? They always say no. And then they ask women, would you live on a planet of just women? And they always say yes. Yes. Like let that happen. Let's do it, please, because uh, and that's how I know that I'm really starting my period because on my period I hate men even more. And they're in the danger zone. My boyfriend's in the danger zone. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you. Thank you for coming. It's been a really fun time. It's been a really positive and happy time. I can't wait to talk to you guys more. And I'll see you next week. I don't really want to go. I just want to talk to you guys forever, but whatever. I have to because it's cold. So I'll see you guys next time. Unless you guys want to drive with me. Bye.